welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to crack open the Python string toolkit to wrangle the most common and, yeah, often the messiest type of data in the entire world, text. So get this, an estimated 80% of all real-world data is unstructured text. That is a huge number, and it's the raw, messy stuff that powers, well, pretty much our entire digital world. And believe me, this text it's everywhere. From the password you just typed in, to file names, data we scrape from the web, API logs. It's kind of like the digital exhaust of our daily lives. So what's the problem? The problem is it's almost always a mess, just full of typos, extra spaces, and totally inconsistent formats. But hey, don't worry, because Python gives us this incredibly powerful set of tools to bring some order to all that chaos. So here's our game plan for today. We'll dig into the problem itself, check out our basic tools, learn how to reshape and transform strings, clean them up, and finally how to search and validate our text data. Okay, so let's kick things off with the big why. First up, we really need to get a handle on the fundamental problem we're trying to solve here. I mean, why is wrangling text so darn important? Well, as the source material points out, a single piece of text can be absolutely jam-packed with valuable but totally jumbled information. Just imagine a database field with someone's name, their age, and their country all crammed into one string. Our job is to carefully pull all of that apart and clean it up so it actually becomes useful. All right, time to open up that toolkit. We're going to start with the most basic, but honestly the most essential instruments. You can think of these as your digital measuring tape and your label maker. They just help you understand what in the world you're working with. So the len function, it's just like a measuring tape. It instantly tells you the number of characters in a string, which is perfect for, say, checking if a password is long enough. Then you've got type and string. Think of them like label makers for your data. Type makes sure you're actually dealing with a string, and string, well, it takes other things like numbers and turns them into a string so you can combine them without everything blowing up. Okay, basics are down. Now it's time to pull out the power tools. This is where we get into some serious reshaping. We're talking combining strings, replacing parts, and splitting them up into much more useful pieces. And you can really see the difference here. The old way, with all the plus signs, it's clunky and you got to remember to manually turn numbers into strings, but the modern F string, oh, it's so clean, so readable, and it handles all that data type stuff for you automatically. It is a total game changer for readability. This is a perfect example of just how powerful chaining methods can be. We're using the replace tool multiple times, all in one go. You see how we can chain these commands together? First, we zap the $sign. Then, on that result, we get rid of the comma. This step-by-step process turns a messy price string into a clean number that's ready for math. Okay, so what if your data is all crammed into one string? Well, that's where dot split comes in. It's your precision saw. If you have a date like 2025-12-28, you can just tell split to use the hyphen as its cutting point, and bam, it hands you back 3 separate pieces: the year, the month, and the day. Now, to grab those specific parts, you gotta understand that every single character has an address. We call it an index. And here's the key thing to remember. Python starts counting from 0 at the beginning, but it counts from -1 from the end. This gives you 2 different ways to get to any character you want. And once you know those addresses, you can slice out exactly what you need. By giving it a start and an end point, you can grab the precise piece of information you're after, just like pulling the year out of a full date. It's incredibly useful. All right, let's move on to the finishing tools. This is where we add that final polish. This is how we go from clean enough to perfect, making our data pristine and totally reliable. One of the most common and frankly most annoying problems you'll run into is hidden white space. These extra spaces at the beginning or end of a string can break your searches, mess up comparisons, and a lot of the time you can't even see them. But that's where .strip comes in. It's like a piece of digital sandpaper. It just instantly sands off those unwanted spaces from the front and back, leaving you with a clean, centered value. It's seriously one of the first things you should do with any kind of user input. And on a similar note, you have to remember, Python is super case sensitive. So Python with the big P is a totally different word from Python with a little p. Standardizing everything with .lower or .upper is absolutely critical if you want to make reliable, case-insensitive searches. So in the real world, what do? You combine them. This is the classic 1-2 punch of data cleaning. It's standard practice. First, you strip away any hidden white space, and then you immediately convert the whole thing to lowercase. This little combo prepares your data perfectly for just about anything. Okay, last but not least, let's talk about our quality control inspectors. These are the tools that don't change your data. They're here to verify that your data is exactly what you think it is. And we've got some really specific tools for the job. You can check if a string starts with a certain country code or if it ends with a specific email domain. The in operator is super versatile. It just checks if a little piece of text exists anywhere inside a bigger string. And .find will tell you the exact location where a character shows up for the first time. And for that final absolute quality check, you've got .alphabeta and .isNumeric. These are strict. .alphabeta is only true if every single character is a letter, and .isNumeric is only true if every character is a number. This is pretty much your last line of defense to stop bad data from getting into your system. So, why does all of this matter so much? Because of this. It's wild, but without these tools, data professionals can spend up to 80% of their time just cleaning and prepping data before they can even start the fun part, the analysis. Mastering these methods completely flips that ratio. So here's the big takeaway. You are now equipped with a complete, powerful toolkit. You have tools to measure, to transform, to clean, to search, and to validate pretty much any text data you could ever encounter, no matter how messy it starts out. Because at the end of the day, this toolkit does more than just clean data. It transforms you from a data janitor just sweeping up messes into a data artist, ready to shape and mold raw text into valuable, actionable insights.